What's going on, guys? Chris from Reform here. Part 3 of the video series of the questions that you all have been asking me about fitness and nutrition related questions. So let's get started here. First question is from Brian, and he says, the only question I would have is the one we probably all could answer. I need to cut the midweek sauce, as in beer, to really get properly fit. Brian, you answered your own question, my man. Keep this midweek sauce to a minimal. That 20% that I've talked about in the other videos, enjoy some beer. If that's what you like, that's fine. But as long as you're eating well 80% of the time, then you're still going to be able to enjoy that sometimes. But if you're going overboard and you're going overboard, let's just work on cutting it out slowly. If you're having 10 beers a week, let's cut it down to 8 for a week or two, and then just kind of go from there instead of just cutting it cold turkey, because that rarely works. And if you can do it, you're awesome. I can't cut stuff cold turkey, so I'm not very good at that. Next question is from Ricky, and he said, "Hi pal, what's the best sit-ups to do to lose the excess fat at the bottom of your stomach? I've done sit-ups, cardio, I play footy." I think that's soccer. Sorry, I'm American. And I'm not good with the lingo. I think it's soccer. Yeah, let's go with that. And I just can't tell. I can't shift it. Thanks. So, Ricky, it's going to be down to eating well and being in a caloric deficit. Again, broken record, but eat well 80% of the time. Exercise, do some high-intensity training, and you're going to get where you want to go. But my bet is that you're not in a caloric deficit, so the excess fat at the bottom of your stomach is not going to go away until you're in that caloric deficit, which means you're going to be losing weight. It sounds like you're getting your cardio playing soccer, so in your workouts, let's stick to some interval type stuff. Let's get that heart rate up and down, make it look like a wave, burn a ton of calories, and let's stay away from the long distance cardio other than your soccer. And I think that'll help out. Next question is from my dad, and he said, how do you fix old, fat, and bald? I can't fix old, Dad. Sorry. I can't fix bald. I'm going there too. You can see my hairline. Thanks for that. As far as fat goes, good and well that it's going to be in the kitchen. 80% eating well, 20%, doing your thing on the golf course. But you do your thing on the golf course a lot, so let's chill out with that. Exercise, you're doing that, but let's pick up the weight training a little bit, and we can definitely drop some weight. Next question is from Caroline. She said, I've just started spinning classes in the last 2 weeks, and I'm afraid that I'll end up with big thighs as a result. Is this a myth? I do 2 one-hour classes per week. Finally, what is the best food to have after such a workout? Protein, I'm guessing. All right, so Caroline, it is definitely a myth that you're going to get big and bulky, especially from just a spin class. But it is my belief, and I posted this a couple days ago, that all women should lift weights and lift heavy weights at that. You're not going to get bulky unless you are trying to get bulky, okay? It's not like if you just start lifting weights that you're automatically going to have giant arms and legs. That's not how it works. You have to want to get bulky to get bulky. But gaining muscle and being bulky are 2 different things. So it's definitely a myth. And as far as foods to have after a workout, anywhere from 30 grams of carbs, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on your appetite and your size, and about 30 grams of protein. That should do it after the workout, and you should feel pretty good. But definitely don't worry about getting, big thighs just from spin class. That's definitely a myth. Next is from Kevin. And he says, motivation is always a good one. And also, how many times a week to do body work, as I cycle twice a week and sometimes run twice a week, but not with the right frame of mind. So if you're going to cycle twice a week and run twice a week, let's try to hit the gym twice a week, maybe 3 times. It's going to be dependent on your nutrition and your recovery and how you're feeling from all your other activities and the time that you have to devote to the gym. In the right frame of mind, let's see. I mean, just again, know that everybody's going to mess up. None of us are perfect, and that this is a journey. Try to have a spot during the day that you're going to work out, that it's time to work out. Like, you're not having to worry about anything else, and you can just kind of zone out. I know that's easier said than done. I have trouble with it. I'm always at work. But just try to, stay away from the phone if you can. Have that dedicated time. That's your time, and use it as such. Maybe try, some meditation as you're working out, or maybe you pray, or maybe you just try to just blank out all the way and zone in to your workout. So just give that a try. And I say 2 to 3 times a week in the gym if you're going to do the others as far as cycling and running goes. Next question is from Doris. She says, "Hello, Chris. I've hit a wall. My weight is not moving. I'm in menopause, so I'm reading up on it, and it says that I'll be gaining weight. I'm floored. I'm trying so hard to get out of the 180s. It's hard. I'm in my 50s, and I'm ready to stop trying. It seems hopeless. I'm going to try the boot camp class to see if it helps, and my diet is good too." All right, Doris. So like I said in the first video, totally feel you on hormone issues and struggling with weight. I've been there. I still have to deal with it to some extent. So they're no fun. I understand and I feel it. Let's make sure that your caloric intake is dialed in to where you're still in a deficit so you can lose weight, because your diet can be great, but if you're eating more than you're burning, then you're still going to gain weight or stay around the same. So let's make sure your calories are dialed in. So that's one thing we can do. Don't give up. It's not hopeless. Any activity is better than no activity, and no activity may lead to gaining more weight, and we don't want to do that. Menopause is tough. I have a lot of female clients that have been through it or are going through it, and it is a tough time, and it can be a tough time, but just work through it. Exercise seems to help, and it just depends on how your hormone levels are and how you react to exercise. Some women don't do well with high intensity training during menopause because the androgen receptors are all out of whack because you're going through that. So it may need to be, less intense types of workouts. So you just got to find what works for you. I know that's not the best answer, but keep going. Don't give up, and you'll get there. I promise. Next question is from James. It says, "At the moment, I'm struggling with getting the taper. How can I gain muscle and at the same time keep my waist down? I'm worried about gaining weight." So he's talking about the V taper coming out from the waist to the lats. So if we want to gain muscle and keep the waist down, let's get about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight a day. Make sure you're hitting maintenance calories or maybe a little less so you don't gain weight. And then you're obviously going to want to hit a lot of pull-ups, a lot of lat pull-downs, some dumbbell pullovers. That's really going to hit those lats to make them wing out and get that V that you're looking for. That's pretty much it, man. Hit the back hard. Do a lot of rows, do a lot of lat pulls, do a lot of pull-ups and chin-ups, and try to stick to about a 3-to-1, pulling to pushing ratio. So hit more back than you do chest. The next one is Ben, and he says, "My biggest issue is the lower back. Whenever I try anything like exercise, this makes me stall a long time before trying again, no matter how much I may like it. This can't give me any progress, and I seem to be frustrated. What do I do?" So I'd say definitely go to the doctor to see if there's any, actual issues there with the low back that can't be fixed with exercise and may need, to be on the lookout list as far as exercises go. If everything's good and it's a mobility and flexibility issue or maybe a core strength issue, then seeing a trainer can go a long way with that. A lot of times clients have really tight hamstrings, and that tends to just kind of yank that low back down and make it hurt. I've dealt with low back pain too. It's no fun, and mine was from lack of flexibility and mobility in my legs. So getting on a good, stretching, mobility plan to try to work out, the legs and keep that upper back and the thoracic spine loose, I think that will help a lot. And then it can be a core strength thing too. So hit up the doctor. You know, if nothing's wrong in that regard as far as medically goes, you know, you can get with me and we can kind of make you a program as far as stretching and core exercises go to try to help you out with that back pain. The last one's from Davis, and he says, what do you think about the documentary, What the Health? So I've watched it. I think we've all watched it by now. It did not make me want to go vegan. I have nothing against vegans. If you want to do that, that's fine. Perfectly fine, actually. But I have a problem with this guy because he seems to be fear-mongering, and he is presenting a very one-sided documentary. He's obviously a vegan or wants people to go vegan after watching this video. And I think that's a little bit out there. I think he could have presented both sides better. Some of the research he presented was not complete, or he just read the abstract and didn't read the whole study. I also had an issue with when he called the big organizations that had, you know, were promoting certain things, and he'd call them and he'd say, well, why do you promote this on your website if it causes cancer? He's talking to an answering service or a secretary. Their job is to transfer the calls to people that would know the answers to those questions. So when they say, I don't know the answer to that, they honest to God probably don't know the answer to that. And that's okay. But he doesn't give them the chance to get them somebody, that would know the answer. So that's kind of frustrating to me, and it just kind of makes everybody look bad. Yeah, I mean, a really one-sided deal. I think we all know that lunch meat's not the best for us, and hot dogs aren't the best for us. But as far as lean protein goes from meat sources, it's not a big deal in my mind. And I feel like if you're gonna, you know, talk about pesticides and all kinds of other stuff that's used and hormones, you really have to grow all of your own food, and you would need to know what's been in that soil for the last 20 years to know that you're getting no hormones, nothing added. Because I think there's going to be a little bit of something in almost everything that we eat. So really one-sided. Not sure how smart the guy is. I hate to say that. I sound like a dick, but I think he just did it to make some money, and it obviously got a lot of people thinking. Again, nothing against vegans. I think that's fine, but fear-mongering is not the way to go about getting people to be vegan. And I think there's other documentaries and better research out there. So that's part 3. Any other questions you have, shoot me an email, chris@reformedathletes.com, and I can make more videos, or I'll just reply to you directly. All right, guys, have a good one.